Baby, I just thought you should know. All the time, tried to let you go. In the back of the club, on myself, feel dead, taking shots to the head. Only whiskey, drunk on you. Girl, tell me why this lit tastes like you. I can't forget the things that you do when you said you ride. I know it's raining right now, but girl, let's dance outside.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Caleb back again, aka Calheem, and welcome to episode 2 of the From the Couch podcast. From the Couch. Today, I got a new guest with me, another co-host that I'm gonna have way more often. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother.
Yo, my name is Darian. Y'all gonna know me as D-Book, and I'm likely gonna be the star of the show. Let's go.
It's crazy work right there. But hey, let's get into it.
All right, first up, let's get into it. Let's talk about hip-hop. What's your take?
Man, it's going in so many different directions. I feel like it's not one set genre when it comes to like hip hop anymore. I feel like, you got like so many layers of rap that's just like borderline just wrapped under that one category. Cause you got like alternative artists, you got regular rap artists, you got the country rap that's becoming more and more popular, as the months go by, which we've been knew that was gonna happen.
So hold on. Right there, you say country. You think our people are kind of vulturing off country, or you think we just trying to make it more interesting?
I can't say we're vulturing. I want to say because, first of all, a lot of people don't realize it's a lot of Southern Black people that's got a real strong country accent. Even mine comes out sometimes. And I just feel like at a point in time, we were kind of too shy to really try to step on the scene. But now you see it like more and more. I mean, you have certain ones that's kind of like, I think Quavo just did a country song with an artist. And then Beyonce had dropped a country album, where you can't really categorize that completely under that. But I just feel like they're becoming more and more in tune with saying, hey, this music is actually, it's more so open your eyes and your ears and be like, dang, this is good music.
So of course, me coming up, I'm a little older. First time I heard country music with hip hop was Nelly and Tim McGraw. And now we have Lil Durk, Free Dirt, Lil Durk and Morgan Wallen. And I ain't gonna lie, I jammed that song about 3-4 times a day. Broadway Girls.
Yeah, Morgan's one of the ones.
Hey, Morgan is a GOAT. I know it's kind of skeptical because he said some,
But again, it's separate the artist from the actions. And then when the artist, some artists don't come out and openly apologize and admit what they did was wrong and how they went about it. The fact that he openly did that and he was like, I know you're not going to accept this apology, but I'm finna openly apologize, unlike some people, and just hide behind what I said. I respect him for that.
But do we feel it was genuine, or?
I do.
Well,
I feel like he's a genuine person.
I guess it could be considered genuine because, I mean, do Black people got the power to cancel a country artist?
Not at all.
I feel like they're gonna listen to their own,
Yeah,
I feel like they'll listen to their own regardless.
Bro, regardless of that situation, I bumped Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen was my most streamed artist last year, so it's never gonna change.
I can't argue with it. All right, what we thinking about the WHAM album?
So I had mixed emotions on that album. I'm at like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Definitely wasn't his best project. Seemed like he was kind of going for something new, which I respect because everybody kept saying, same sound, same thing every song. So now that he's switching it up, now people are like, oh, what he doing on this album? But it's like y'all are the same ones that was complaining that he got the same sound. So it's like a dope nigga. It's like, what do you want? Are you gonna be mad that he keep using the same sound and making hits, or you gonna be mad that he changing?
Here's my take on WHAM. I felt like he had room to make that album better than what he was calling it. I feel like he listened to the internet a little too much, and it's baby, but I felt like he could have been a little more authentic. Yeah. I feel like he could have been a little bit more authentic with it because he told us You took 2 years off and you went through the toughest period of your life. But I feel like you're rapping about the same stuff you rapped about before you took your 2 year hiatus.
In an extent, but how I feel like is I feel like that's with a lot of artists. Like even Dirk, when Dirk has started to, go away from the street stuff and, he went to love and country, he's still gonna have them things where, all right, y'all really think I done forgot about this. So he just, he goes back. Same thing with Huncho. Huncho did the same thing. Huncho blew up from making a song, a whole tape dedicated to women. And then when he went back to the regular rap, a whole bunch of men was like, oh, you should have been did this. But it's like he wasn't blowing up when he was doing this the first time. He had to go into venture off and do it.
Find his own lane. So my take with that, I give Future is probably the best example. Before he dropped Monster, everybody was like, okay, what was this? You think he falling off. But he went back to making the same type of music that made him the artist who he is now. And every now and then, he'll kick one of them hits out, one of them monster type hits out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So honestly, I feel like Baby kind of lost touch with the fans. When you get to rubbing shoulders with a different type of crowd, with people that they clearly got more money. You want to hang around with people that got more money than you, because if you the richest in the room, it's a problem.
Right.
But you don't lose touch with what got you there, especially if his goal is continuously being an artist. You know what I mean?
I mean, the one reason I can kind of give him a kind of a pass on that win, like not like really give him a pass, but like, oh no, it definitely had room for improvement. But I give Baby, when it came to just 2024, I give Baby the most props because it seemed like he didn't drop any real singles like that until the end of the year. But every song that he was on a feature on, he killed. He didn't miss on a feature last year.
Do you think he missing the Gunna influence?
Yes and no.
And do you think Gunna's a snitch?
He ain't snitch on me, and what the lawyer came out and said is, I mean, all he said was why I said it was a gang, and he got out of jail. I mean, if that's snitching, then everybody gonna see it their own way. Did I feel like it was a few songs on Wham where I'm like, I'm hearing Lil Baby rapping, I'm hearing the beat, I'm like, man, if Gunna just came in right now, this thing will flow. So I feel like it's always room for that because of just the amount of songs they made, and they made hits. Every song that they've been on has been a hit. But it's also at the same time where it's like Lil Baby sound is Lil Baby sound, and it's like he is Lil Baby.
Do you think these artists should start caring less about opinions in the streets and more about their product? Because if you ask me, hey, I don't think Gunna snitch, but that's with me growing up around people who were in the streets and me knowing what the definition of snitching is. I feel like, hey, if he was doing music with Gunna, which we've yet, and we've also yet to see if Thug is going to do music with Gunna. That's still up in the air because the only thing we've heard from Thug is the feature that he has on Lil Baby's song, which it's a good song, by the way. I ain't gonna lie, I like it. That's one of the songs off the album I do like. But I kind of feel like they should care less about the street code, because as we're looking at the state of hip hop right now, the street code is taking all the best artists out the game. Atlanta took a big hit with Thug and Lucci going inside because Lil Baby's music didn't carry while they were inside.
I mean, he started making music for a point in time too. Yeah, he really wasn't even. And nobody in Atlanta was dropping.
And there lies the problem. Everybody starts to think that all the hits was because of Thug and Gunna.
Yeah. Only one we had out of Atlanta was Huncho. Which, I mean, what Huncho was dropping was kind of hit. So, I mean, I ain't got no problem. But, I mean, the issue with Thug that I'm going to see is that how Thug got to be filtered. You feel me? They're filtering a lot of what he can and can't say, if you like went and read on his releases what he can and can't rap about. So that's why you kind of got it where, I feel like his verse on Lil Baby's song was kind of too short, but it's like, dang, he can't really talk about anything at all. And then I know that when they was listening to that song to make sure he didn't, I know they kind of felt some type of way when he was like, it don't even feel like I was locked up for real. I was having my way the whole time. I know they kind of glanced. They was like, all right, let's see. Let me tell you something real quick.
Hey, so with both of us having family members that's been behind them walls down the road, hey man, when they're on the inside and they have money, we've kind of seen that. We both have someone we know in there right now, and every time I look at his Instagram story, the man is kicked back with his feet up watching the flat screen TV with free world food and 2 phones. He into like Kevin Gates.
Prison ain't prison.
No,
the way I mean, no, it's bad and the conditions are bad, but it's like at the same time, they doing a lot of stuff you do out here. They got the work release programs. You can still go work. They got TVs. They got P5s in there.
Yeah,
I'm seeing people play basketball.
They got everything except freedom. That's the most important part. But they also ain't got no women in there.
Some of them don't care.
At least not the ones we want to see.
Some of them don't care for real. They ain't got nothing to do with me though.
Hey, so what we think about R&B? R&B of course has changed between the 90s, the 2000s, 2010 to 2010, and now 2010 to where we at now. What we thinking about the state of R&B?
I feel like we're slowly going back to that 90s feel. I feel like every song I keep hearing from R&B, especially man, I give props to Friday. Friday is a great artist, and what he is dropping is like you just feel it. But it's a lot of people that's making like R&B music now, and you're going back to that 90s feel. What they rapping about, it's not so much about women's bodies and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that to them, and you want to love them that way. It's like really genuine, like trying to love you, trying to show you
back to love.
Yeah, it's back real
to dancing in the rain. With me. When I hear artists like LMI, Muni Long, even Summer Walker to an extent, because hey, I'm not gonna lie, ain't nothing like me riding on a good day, feeling great, and me cutting on some of these females R&B songs, because they be going.
I'm a SZA guy.
Hey, I love SZA.
I'm a SZA guy.
SZA, if you see this, holla at your boy.
That album she dropped. Yeah, I'm a SZA guy. Big.
Most definitely. So I kind of feel like we are getting back to that 90s vibe, because I think the culture feels like the love has been missing out of the music.
100%.
And
and it's affected the generation and especially, like I said, you older, but with my generation, it's affected my generation a whole lot as far as like everybody's perception of love. It's like it ain't really no one set. It's like this junk just don't really exist, but we know it do because the older generation showed it. But what they're putting out in music right now is kind of like, man, don't even worry about that. Don't do no relationship. Don't do nothing. Don't get married. Don't even worry about it.
And I can understand that. I had an old head tell me once that the music reflects how the current generation feel. So I can definitely attest to that. It does, because with my generation, we still had the love songs. Where we had people like Lloyd, Ashanti, Keisha Cole came out with ours, and our generation is filled with a lot of love, and we always felt like the generation that came after us, they kind of felt like they looking for love, but the music says, don't love her, don't love him, get money out of him, get sex out of her. I hate you, and it's kind of what it's been looking like.
Toxic love. There's been a lot of it.
Yeah, the domestic. Hey man, I'm gonna tell you, domestic violence, being in relationships with people under the age of 20 that's crazy. I'm gonna be honest, that's crazy, because you ain't no way a man and a woman should be beefing like that at 16.
You'd be surprised at how much it happens too.
And it shouldn't be 16.
Yeah, the amount of stories I've just heard from people and talking about, I'm like, what you mean you let that man hit you? I don't deal with that. What I love? No, you don't, because he don't love you. Man, if a man can put his hands on you and not really care that he's hurting you, that ain't love at all.
No, it's not. Yeah. Hey, listen, I know we joke about Ike and Tina, but y'all ain't supposed to be fighting like cats and dogs, man. It's not supposed to be happening. Now, your girl's supposed to be your dog. You feel me? That's your homie. Your man's supposed to be your best friend, your homie. When I was in high school, I don't remember no relationships with where the guy was beating on the girl was beating on the guy. I really don't. Yeah, and I'm a man, but you get on social media now, and it ain't nothing to see somebody the friend recording and the girl come out and she go upside his head. Or I mean, I seen the craziest video the other day. I would not put the link in here because I don't condone domestic violence. But man, dude was outside just casually punching on her. His friend sitting there, her friend sitting there, and like he's really hitting beyond toxic, beyond toxic. You know, it's just we gotta tighten up. Like we gotta tighten up.
Yeah, I think if a relationship ever becomes physical, it's time to go. One is like
most definitely.
I mean, I know in certain circumstances where it's kind of like, but like in a lot of them, if you're just in a relationship and a person starts being on you, if you don't see yourself like in a real commitment with that person, leave. And I mean, maybe it is, you know, we were raised differently when it comes to females because we was raised with nothing but a bunch of women around a bunch of women, so we have a different perception of how we see it. So like me personally, and I know you like, I'm never gonna like just go put my hand. I'm never just gonna walk up be mad at my girl. It doesn't do nothing.
That's right. Hey ladies, listen. We got sisters. So hey, when you're punching on us, we got sisters. All right, so give me your top 2 hip hop artists, top 2 R&B artists.
As of now, I mean, when it comes to R&B, just of what I've listened to, or the most is probably Friday and Giveon.
Okay.
Just what I listen to the most, and kind of what relates to me. And then when it comes to hip hop, hip hop's a toss up sometimes, because it normally can be like Huncho and maybe DC the Don, because you know I've always been on DC the Don, but he's like alternative rap. So if I'm just talking about straight regular hip hop, then it's like Huncho and Moneybagg, yo.
Okay, well I'm gonna be honest. I like mainstream. I do like mainstream artists, but my main listen don't come from mainstream artists. So I'm gonna say Starlito, Don Trip are at the top of my list because I listen to them often. On the R&B side, hey man, hands down, SZA got it. You know, there ain't the time where her music come on and I ain't gonna listen. You know, that's how it's gonna be. Friday, we are definitely in agreement with that. I like the way his music is. And this ain't no knock to the other hip hop artists or other R&B artists. But for me, when it comes to hip hop, I'm less shoot 'em up, bang, bang, and more so, what were you talking about in this song? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I don't think I can even, this is just I don't think I can think of a Friday song where he's cussed. He probably has, and I like, it's so like, you didn't hear it, but like, I don't think he's really, like, I don't think he cusses.
Well, with me, when R&B artists cussing, it probably just fits and flows. You know, it fits and flows because you know most of the time love songs don't require cussing. Yeah. So, but if they are, it fit and flows over the course of the song.
A lot of them just like a lot of Friday is just love and God. So you know, it's them too. So I think he does definitely stray away from it.
Agreed. We on to the NFL now.
It's a couple teams that I got fleeced.
Yeah, we got overpaid contracts for underperformances.
First of all, first things first. I didn't really realize this until I read it. I didn't realize Russell Wilson was still getting paid by the Broncos to play for the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
I knew they traded him. I didn't know what the whole context of it was. Well, I didn't know they agreed to still pay his contract. So yeah. Broncos kind of on a double edged sword because I don't know how much longer they got to pay. I think it's like another year. But I think you also got to get ready to be like, man, we might have to pay Bo Nix if he gonna perform this good before, because he's already, you feel me? Bo Nix is what, 24, 25? He's one of those older rookies.
The good thing about them rookie contracts, it's like 4 years, so they actually have time before they have to pay him. In that time frame, that's normally when they would like to win a Super Bowl or compete, because you ain't paying the QB a lot. so you can spread the money around the team, build around the quarterback.
Because I know they're not going to accept this. I don't really remember anybody kind of accepting a whole lot of rookie QBs 5th-year option because it's like, if we finna pay you this 5th-year option, we might as well go ahead and extend you if we're going to.
By that time, either he is good enough, so they're gonna give him a big contract, or he out of there because he just ain't working out.
Oh, that's so crazy. By the time his 5th year, he would be like 29. So I don't see them paying him, honestly.
But I mean, he looked good towards the end on the back end of the season. They say he started off struggling with the playbook because Sean Payton's verbiage is very difficult for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But he's not the only old rookie quarterback. We also have Michael Penix, and that's where we go into the first unnecessary contract for underperformances. Mr. Kirk Cousins himself, Kirk O'Chains.
First of all, I thought that contract was bad when it first started. You're getting an old quarterback off with Achilles injury. Already, his arm strength was already diminishing over the years.
He never had arm strength to begin with, if we're being honest.
And it just dropped after that Achilles injury. He's not the same. Now he really can't move. He's older. And then your choice was to, let's take this 24-year-old quarterback in the top 10 and sit him behind Kirk Cousins, even as he's struggling the entire year. I feel like they took too long to bench him, but they was trying to justify that contract.
In my opinion, from tuning into Falcons games, after the Chargers game, that's when the Falcons were supposed to sit Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins in that game, they were on maybe the left hash mark. It was a 10-yard stop route on the right side. Kirk Cousins he's a right arm quarterback, and he threw a pass, and this pass took forever and a day to get there. And I said, he's done. If they don't bench him, they're not going to the playoffs. And what proceeded to happen? They didn't go to the playoffs. So, hey, another thing. Hey, Falcons, GMs, all y'all got to pay me for this one. If y'all want to get back to playoff caliber football, to being contenders, the first time y'all did it, you had Dontari Poe next to Grady Jarrett. So hey, I'm just gonna come out and let y'all know, if y'all not gonna go get another dominant defensive tackle to put alongside Grady Jarrett, it just ain't gonna work, because that's been y'all's formula. And I don't know how y'all ain't seen it. I don't know how, as a coach, you take over a team and you don't go back and look at when the team had success. It kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of coaches have arrogance and they're not willing to learn no more. I think a lot of coaches at that level are not willing to learn no more. But I think the coaches that continuously win, I think they're continuously learning. Because you can't tell me that Andy Reid ain't still learning.
Oh no, he definitely is. He's adjusted it, because Andy Reid wouldn't always air it out all the time. You gotta think about the weapon that he had at a point in time. This is the first time where he's really just like, yeah, my running back can consistently be out of the backfield to go catch a pass.
Brian Westbrook, that's who he had. Truthfully, no, I don't think they ever really had a solid number one when he was coaching Philly until he had Terrell Owens. So yeah, it was always, running back that could catch, good O-line. You had receivers that could make plays, and they always had a real good defense, which to me right now, over Patrick Mahomes' run, has probably been the most underrated thing that has allowed Kansas City to be good. No one has paid attention to the fact that when Kansas City hits the playoffs, they probably be having the best defense in the playoffs.
They do, but it's also at certain times, it's hard to really try and get into a shootout with Kansas City, because 9 times out of 10, you're not in a good position to win that one.
Because as we've seen, Mahomes only needed about 13 seconds to win a game. So you know how that go. Speaking of them, they have Houston coming up, I believe tomorrow. They play early in the season. Of course, Kansas City won that game. Speaking of Houston, Deontay Johnson, wide receiver. When we talk about necessary contracts, I also mean about players that, I ain't gonna lie, you might work hard to get to the NFL, but you got to work harder to stay in there. And a big part of that is mentality. Hey man, sometimes the receivers are the divas.
Yeah.
They are divas. They want the ball, but when the playoffs come, what's more important?
Winning.
Winning is more important. So is it better to be a receiver who contributed and was on the field to a Super Bowl, or do you want to be the receiver that's getting 10 targets a game, 8 catches, and your team gets smacked and kicked out?
I mean, I feel like that's kind of his fault. You in Carolina, clear number one at a point in time. You go to, you in Pittsburgh, borderline number one, number two receiver. But now you're going to Houston, who CJ Stroud has already developed a relationship with all 3 of his wide receivers. So you're going to come in and be number 4. And number 4, yeah, you're going to get less catches than the wide receivers and the tight end that he got, because that's already been there. And then you can't act like the tight end's not a good pass catcher, because Dalton Schultz is a great pass catcher.
Yes.
And he can run some routes as a tight end, and it's a matchup nightmare. So if Deontay Johnson, his whole thing throughout his career, he's built on being a deep threat. He can go up and get it, but you got Tank Dell over there. You got people that can run over there. Just in general, that's going to be all their wide receivers deep threat. So where are you going to fit in? You just got to come do something else.
Yeah. Which he's not the only recent player that's done that. We also seen Devondre Campbell do it. We seen I forget his name off the top of my head. The guy that left the Eagles, went to the Jets, and refused to play. So to me, it's just, man, it's a privilege to play pro sports. You can put the work in and get there, but it's a lot of people that put the work in and they don't get them opportunities. So to have the opportunity to play and you don't play, for me, if you come to my team after me saying you quit on another team, we're gonna probably be a little less inclined to get
You're on
along.
a short leash.
A very short leash with me as a teammate. It's just, hey, you making good money. You making more money than some families will see in a lifetime. It's generational money.
And it's no disrespect to Devondre Campbell, but Dre Greenlaw, not only did he have the emotional backing from everybody on the 49ers because of what he went through, he's a good linebacker.
He's a dog.
He's good. And he came back and he made more of an impact than you did, in your time filling in. So it's kind of like, what did you expect from them? They was deplenished at linebacker. You signed knowing that, okay, I'm going to play because they're deplenished. But you should have also had the mindset that, okay, I'm playing right now, but once them starting linebackers come back, it's going to start dropping. And it's going to start dropping. And my snap count's going down.
Which also goes to, when you sign to these teams, is you just signing because, okay, they're paying you more money?
That's what it seemed like.
Or maybe, hey, if you still got 5-6 years left at peak performance, why not take a 1-year deal on a team? They may not be Super Bowl ready, but you can go shine. You can go shine, go show your talents. Because going to a team like the 49ers, I don't care what no one says. 49ers is the true definition of next man up.
Yeah.
Because they have people get hurt, and it's literally next man up.
Especially
at running back. So, hey, if you're going to go to a team and you're going to play in the position of a guy who's considered an elite linebacker, you better be prepared for what happens if that guy's not out for the season. Yeah. To me, it's bad business practice. Why? Why go there when it's a chance you might not get as much burn as you would if you went to another team that ain't got the talent that you got?
I don't got no issue with a 1-year prove-it deal. I mean, it happens a lot in sports, a lot more than we think. I don't think Sam Darnold was on 1 year, and now the season coming up, and
he's gonna get a contract.
His last 2 performances, he probably played his way out of a few more M's than he would have liked to.
We may disagree a little bit. I honestly do not think that loss that the Vikings took to the Rams, I don't think that was on Sam Darnold.
It wasn't even just that one. It was the week before. It was that Lions loss where it's like, okay, you can look bad in one, but it's like now you're playing 2 complete playoff teams who are missing players from their defense, and you struggle.
Hey, but these are the Detroit Lions we talking about. Man, do you know I never thought I would see the Detroit Lions playing this type of football.
They motivated.
motivated. They built
And I think
a team.
the Lions, but the reason why it's like it's hard to look at it from the Lions' perspective is like, bro, they had maybe 2 of their normal, 11 starters, and then even then some backups was hurt. Like they're the most injured team in the league, and that was the showing you put on against second and third string defenders.
They still have that offense though, and that
it is, but pressure. It could have got into a shootout, but you didn't even give it a chance.
Hey man, look, it's kind of hard to get into a shootout when the guy on the other side is out there with a tank and you coming out there with a rifle. Hey,
but I just feel like I said, when it comes to him, he had the weapons.
He does have the weapons.
You have arguably the number 1 receiver in the NFL. It's between him and Chase. That's what everybody say. That's what the argument go to. I'm not going to disagree. Tell people who to pick. So either 1 or 2, regardless. You got one. You got 2 great tight ends.
True.
So it's kind of like you have to trust. And I was looking at some of his passes. He was missing Jefferson on wide open fade routes. He was throwing it in the coverage, kind of like,
hey man,
he back to seeing ghosts.
He hadn't been there before. So to some NBA. National Basketball Association. Start with Zion Williamson, the man child.
I think he needs to change the scenery. I love him as a player, and a lot of people have, brought up his injury history and his eating habits, and the way I look at it, and this is no disrespect, he maintained it in high school. He maintained it in college. Was a monster in both. He was maintaining it, and he played a healthy amount of games his first season. But all of a sudden, now you think he just can't maintain it when he does, when he wants to?
Hey, listen, here's my opinion. First off, I don't think he ever wanted to go to New Orleans. I don't think he wanted to go to New York. Yeah, I don't think he ever wanted to go down there. In my opinion, I think he comes out and shows enough flashes to let everybody else know he still got it. But I think he's been trying to get traded for quite some time.
He has, because even then, when he came back, last week, and first of all, he looked great. Didn't look like he lost a step, was getting to his spots, getting to the rim, blocking shots.
Looked in shape, too.
And he was very much in shape, even looking at the pictures.
He was slim.
Every time he comes back and he plays, he is in shape. It's not a problem about Zion being in shape. It's a problem of figuring out if Zion wants to be in New Orleans or if he's just doing this and saying he's hurt sometime to get up out of there.
Because, hey, he's not the first player that I've seen who I felt wanted out. I still will stand by Kawhi Leonard wanted out of San Antonio.
Yeah.
I feel like he wanted out of San Antonio, and I feel like he got his way out, bullied his way up out of there.
It happens all the time, man. It happens way more than people think. It's just not to our knowledge. Only the player truly know their, true intentions.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just saying, if you telling me you claim somebody's out of shape 1 week, and then they come back in 2 weeks, and, they're grabbing 28 and 10, is he really out of shape, or is he just like, it's boring down here? Now, New Orleans has a great team. I will give them that. If they was to stay together, they can be.
Hey.
They can be a playoff team.
What do you think about getting him down there with LaMelo?
I don't know if Charlotte's the fit.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing with New Orleans. I think he wants to be in a big market. He wants to be in a LA, a New York, a Boston. He wants to be, mainstream. That's where he wants to go to. Now, if you ask me about sending him to Atlanta, he can go be with Trey. They need to get rid of Clint. Clint's way overdue in Atlanta. They have Onyeka Okongwu, who can slide over to the 5. You can put Zion at the 4.
Zion Williamson in Atlanta.
Because you have a great...
That could work. That could work.
Trey, you can pick, either, Hunter or Bogdan. Jalen Johnson is a great 3. Zion, Onyeka, and get Clint out of there.
So now there is my only problem. Getting him to Atlanta and what it might take.
They're going to ask for a lot. And I don't think Atlanta has leverage because, as you know, in that DeJounte trade, they kind of gave up a lot of first-round picks to the Spurs.
See, I wouldn't if I'm the Hawks making that type of trade, I'm not willing to part ways with Jalen Johnson.
I don't think they would have to. I think for sure to make contract match up, you got to get rid of Clint. That's one. Clint got to go. First of all, he needs to go anyways. I think you got to trade another asset, and I'm like, if I'm getting Zion to an extent, I'm willing to part ways with DeAndre Hunter.
Truthfully, for me, I think any Zion trade that would happen I think it would have to be a 3-team trade. That's what I'd be looking at. Because I don't think they just I don't think they want to just give him away. It seemed with what happened with the Anthony Davis trade, and heck, everybody they got for Anthony Davis, I don't even think they're there no more. Josh Hart getting triple doubles in New York.
I mean,
Lonzo is up in Chicago. By the way, we happy you're back playing.
They got Zion. They got BI.
BI still there, but BI don't even want to be there.
No, they don't want BI. It's a different. They didn't want to pay BI. That's why BI don't want to be there. He had no problem, but they didn't want to pay him. So that's on them.
So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on the Zion thing, but that's really interesting.
And not paying players has kind of affected the NBA a lot, and that's what the Miami Heat going through too.
Getting into, I don't even want to get into the Miami Heat topic. Free Jimmy Butler.
I mean, you said
free Jimmy Butler.
You said something about him in a playoff press conference. He didn't take it too well. Then you said you don't know if you should pay him. And now that he is coming to your face and he demanded a trade, you say you're not going to trade him. He comes back and reiterates, I want to be traded. And if you don't trade me, I'm not re-signing with you. So you're going to lose me for nothing. The ball is in their court at this point to get rid of Jimmy Butler. Because all the leverage that they had, potentially, they can't. Now, they're not going to get a big return on him because with him saying them statements publicly, they lost all their leverage. If they could have kept that behind doors.
That's an age.
Yeah, but if they would have kept that behind doors, it would have been different. But now it's like the teams are like, well, we know he's not re-signing with you, so you can keep him. Don't worry, you can keep him. And we'll see him in free agency because he's not coming back to you regardless.
Man, honestly, when it comes to Pat Riley, I'm thinking about Pat Riley the same way I'm thinking about Jerry Jones. Hey, y'all two fellas, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Y'all's way of doing things is not connecting with this generation of players because things have changed. The game has changed. The rules have changed. And the way that these people are operating, it just ain't helping. It's not helping these players win. The days of superstars teaming up and winning, it don't seem like it's working as well as it did. But to me, I think that can be a tribute to the fact that I believe the NBA has a lack of superstars. So to me, there's a difference between all-star, star, and superstar. The superstars, to me, will be the generation that's going to go out. That's Bron, Katie, Curry, Kyrie. Those are superstars. Next level, instant impact. For me, stars right now, we're talking about Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic.
Luka's a superstar.
Zion, LaMelo. I'm not giving nobody the superstar title until you get a title. Now, if he goes through a full career, kind of like a Dirk Nowitzki career, and he don't get one, I'm going to consider him a superstar. You know what I mean?
It's different. The way I see it, though, is the game has advanced and the talent is so much not what it used to be. It's so different because you have a lot of guys that's coming in and the talent is way more advanced. So it's a lot harder to go in and you say, get that title when, like I said, Luka went up against the Celtics and he couldn't get it. But I mean, Kyrie ain't show up. And Luka was out there trying his hardest.
Now, this is where we going to disagree. I still love the NBA. I still watch the NBA. But sometimes watching the game, it gets hard to watch. And when we say the game evolved, yeah, it did. The players they have more moves. They can shoot better than all the former players before them. They have more ways to score. My issue right now when it comes to the superstars is what made a player a superstar. Yes, you got to be able to relate to the fans. You got to be able to, be that face in front of the media, know how to communicate with the media, but also how you score matters. Now, when James Harden was doing his thing, it just was nobody seeing the stuff that he was doing. It looked like he walking out there. It looked like taking a stroll, walking down the street, and just doing a lot, and the foul baiting, and he didn't get that out of that. So, to me, your play styles sometimes aren't conducive to winning championships, and to me, Luka is doing the same thing Harden did. He's just bigger, and it looks more because he's getting rebounds with that thing. He averaging a triple double. But if we looking at people that's been winning rings as of late, we have Jokic, we have Giannis, we have that Celtics team. Now that Celtics team, they that's how you build a team to win. They had some of everything, and they had some stuff coming off the bench. But when you go back to look at when the Bucks won, and heck, even Phoenix had won, phasing the mid range out of the game plan when it comes to the playoffs, it's going to get you bounced every time because the possessions are limited in the playoffs because everybody's playing their best defense. Everybody's trying to play their best offense. And I personally do not think in a 7-game series that you can go have a 3 to 4 game stretch of putting up 63 pointers and only hitting 20% of them and think you're going to win. Because that's what's been happening. And it was just fortunate that the Celtics had a little more than every other team. It was more to guard.
I went into the stats, and with every team, if you look at it, the amount of 3-pointers attempted severely dropped, and the amount of paint touches went up. Just in every playoff series last year, so it wasn't even a whole lot flying. The reason why it got it with the Celtics is they do have a lot of 3-and-D guys who can literally just your job is to spot up.
That's why making them. That's why also play defense.
That's why the Mavericks got there. Because even then, like you look at PJ Washington in the regular season, he was kind of he was like decent for the Mavericks. They got into the playoffs, his 3-point percentage went up like 13-14%. Like he went from a 30% 3-point shooter to like 44. And that was like, okay, it's elevating. Everything becomes more elevated and becomes more in light. But at the same time, 3-pointers is just a part of the game. It's something you got to deal with. It's a lot of teams who take them who shouldn't. But it's also some teams that when it works, it works. Like Anthony Edwards. His point total hasn't changed, but
the 3-pointers is up.
They are. But his regular shot attempts is down. But his 3-point percentage is also up by 10%. But he's also strayed away from that the last few games. If you looked at his bid scoring games, he's like 14 of like maybe 22, and he's like 5 of 9 from 3. So he's strayed away from it, and he's went back to dribble, fade, pull up, mid range, or dribble poster.
And honestly, you say he took 9 threes. I like to see him shoot 2 less. I'm okay if you are a player who is feared when it comes to getting to the rim. I think in practice, in your workouts, you should be practicing that. Okay, they doing the zone, put some people out there. You feel me? Put some people out there, practice on getting through that zone. They're doubling you, practice on getting through a double. I don't think you should be set because like I said, we play outside. If I'm guarding somebody and I know this joker can't shoot, I'm leaving you open.
Here's the thing with Anthony Edwards though, is I looked at it. I looked at team ratings. They're 4th in 3-point percentage out of the whole NBA, so that's 4 out of 30, which top 5. But I looked at it and I had to look at the teams. So I'm looking at what he's shooting and then versus what he was shooting last year. And I see what he's doing. He's having to make up for the fact that they traded Cat. Because so now you have Randall down there with Gobert. Gobert's not going to shoot the ball at all. And Randall is so inconsistent. And then next to him, you have Jalen McDaniels, who you don't know what version of Jalen McDaniels. You might get a Jalen McDaniels that's going to come out here and he'll shoot, 5 or 7 from 3-point line. You might get a Jalen McDaniels that's going to come out here and go 0 for 4, 0 for 5. And then you got Mike Conley. So he's making up for the fact that now he doesn't have anybody to stretch the floor, because now if I'm me personally, and if they're like the 8th, 7th seed right now, if I match up against the Timberwolves in the playoffs, me personally, and I see the fact that you have Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle out here with Jalen McDaniels, I'm going to sit in the zone and I'm gonna pack the paint in. And I'm gonna be like, well,
So, question.
make it.
Of course, we've seen what the contract situation is with Julius Randle. Do you think that Minnesota should be more focused on getting rid of Gobert?
Yes and no. I'm gonna say yes for the simple fact that I think Gobert is just on a bad contract, and I don't think he's worth what he's being paid. I'm gonna say no because of the simple fact that I think they're gonna lose Julius Randle. You look at their cap situation, and they traded cap because they were gonna be above it. But if you re-sign Julius Randle at this current point, you're going back to the same situation that you had with Cat. You got two big men that's making too much money, and you have to find a sacrifice.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you rather have JaVale McGee or Rudy Gobert?
Which JaVale McGee? The one we last saw play?
Lakers or Warriors JaVale McGee?
Yes. A big man on a vet minimum that's doing the same thing that you're doing. Running and catching lobs, playing defense, blocking shots, except JaVale McGee wasn't missing as much at the rim. I'd rather take JaVale McGee, who I know is going to shoot 70, 80% around the rim, than Rudy Gobert, who you're struggling to shoot 60% on layups. But how I see it also, the Timberwolves they're playing it the wrong way.
Truthfully, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm coaching the Timberwolves, first thing, hey, Ant, I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Stop shooting all the threes. Get to the rack. Number two, Rudy Gobert, I don't care how much we're paying you. You're going to the bench. I'm starting Nas Reed and Julius Randle. That's just how it's.
That's actually when his shot attempts go down. When Nas Reed's on the court, Anthony Edwards goes to the basketball because now it's space. But also, I think the Timberwolves are going about it the wrong way. If I'm the Timberwolves, I'm looking, first of all, Rob Dillingham, you coming back up from the G League. Terrence Shannon Jr., you coming back up. I'm bringing them two back up because those are two people that can space the floor. Dante DiVincenzo kind of having a down year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker having a down year. Okay, let's bring these other two guards up that we drafted. Let's see if they can, space the floor a little bit. Luka Garza, you're finna play. Because there is no reason why Luka Garza cannot play other than the fact that you may think that Gobert is more mobile on defense, but I'm like, he's not. Luka Garza he can stretch the floor, and that is what you need right now. You need less minutes of Rudy Gobert. And the reason I knew it was going to be a problem for the Timberwolves is because I watched the French national team. And I watched that coach sit Rudy Gobert with zero issues, and they started winning because of the fact that Rudy Gobert wasn't being a liability on the court. I'm like,
agreement on that one. So, do you think the politics inside the NBA are ruining the product? Because when you get on social media, you see a lot of stuff that's going on with the G League. You see this player averaging 37. Oh, why is he not playing? Because the team said they can't find minutes. And then I go look at who's getting the minutes, and I'm like, you telling me that you can't give this guy minutes because of the light-skinned weirdo? Yes, I'm calling you a weirdo. I see why Memphis got rid of you.
My prime example, when I see that, one, I'm going to point out the Boston Celtics G League team. They have J.D. Davison. He's still on 24. He's averaging 28 and 11 in the G League, I believe. He's had 9 30-point games already. And I kind of look at it and I'm like, what are we doing? And then the second one I bring up is going to be the Houston Rockets. They have Reed Shepard, who they drafted sitting down.
In the G League, and they have 37 points.
And they have Cam Whitmore, who everybody keeps complaining that Cam Whitmore can't play. Cam Whitmore can't play. Cam Whitmore goes to the G League. He scores 30. They bring him back up. They play Cam Whitmore 15 minutes, and he goes out and gets you 20. He goes out and gets the bucket that you need him to get. But I'm trying to figure out what it is. Everybody kept talking about, oh, that's why he didn't get drafted high in the first place. His attitude is that. No. If I see somebody that's getting mad that they're not playing, and you upset that you're only playing spot minutes, I like you more. Because that means you want to be out there and you want to try to win. Ain't no way I'm going to have somebody who want to be a dog, and I'm just sitting you on the bench and I'm playing you. Oh, dang, we up by 30. Oh, we down by 30. Hey, Cam, go in. Go get some buckets. No, that's not how I see it.
Truthfully, a lot of guys go down to the G League and they never come out. And it's not because they don't have the talent. Like I said, to me, it's politics because we've seen players.
There's also some players
that leave the league that never get a chance to come back and probably should come back. I mean, some
Kenny
of them.
Lofton.
Yeah, Kenny Lofton deserved the shot.
He did, and when he's another one of them guys. Same thing with Sharif Cooper. He's another one of them guys. They're guys. Sharif, his whole thing was he was too small. That's how they felt. But they're two guys who.
Oh, the best example of them all. Yeah. Why is Imani Bates in the G League?
I think right now his whole thing is I think he is done for the season. I think he actually got hurt. He's just now getting back.
That could be that, but why is he in the G League?
I guess is where you gonna put him.
What? Can't other teams sign G League players from other teams?
But I think they can, but not if they're on a two-way. Imani's on the two-way, and for him to sign with another team, the Cavs would have to approve it. And the Cavs, just being the Cavs, they can look at it and be like, y'all want him so bad? Nah, we gonna deny.
I mean, well, that contract will end because apparently you paid Donovan Mitchell. I'm pretty sure Garland not going nowhere.
Garland's locked up
with the team playing like that, so why not?
I think Emo got his extension.
Why not let him
I think
go
because they only signed a core of one.
But that's it. That's all I got for today, man.
Hey, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Hey, man, you tuned in live from the couch. Darian, aka Book.
It's your boy Calhoun, big dog.
Shout out to my camera guy, the greatest, Tay.
Tay2 Wavy on Instagram. Y'all go ahead and get that boy a follow every time.
Peace.
Now here you go calling my